Hey guys, it's Ten Types, and today I want to show off my Urshifu Moltres list with a few really interesting pieces to it. This is possibly my favorite deck to play right now. It's really fun, has a lot of moving pieces, and I really like the way the deck just flows. I've obviously played Urshifu Moltres with Cinccino, Urshifu Cinccino, and stuff like that, but I'm really enjoying the Inteleon engine. I enjoy both the Cinccino and Inteleon engines. But the Italian engine just is so powerful, and I've just keep calling so many times. It's just really strong. No, excuse me. But it's just such a powerful deck. Obviously, you have Urshifu with its G-Max Rapid Flow, dealing damage to the bench, and Gale Thrust dealing heavy damage to the active for just one energy, which is really nice. And then we have Grand Moltres for its mainly dark type coverage for matchups like Shadow Rider, um, Dragapult, and Mew VMAX. I honestly haven't played against that much Mew, not part of the Rich Kids Club, but certainly have played that matchup once or twice, and it seems very solid with the Grand Moltres. We have no chance of getting pathed in that matchup because obviously they want to be using the Genesects as much as they can, and that's like their main draw engine. And then we have the standard Inteleon line. I played two quick shooting Inteleons, one shady dealings because it's just a very solid split. Even if you get rid of like one quick shooting, you generally don't need that ton and just using it to fix some of the math is really important. And then I also play one Crobat to draw some cards, and the unique card I have in the list is the Basculin, new from Fusion Strike, Swarm the wound attack, doing 30 plus 10 for each damage counter on their active, so that doubles the damage plus 30 more, which is really nice with Gale Thrust, because Gale Thrust will hit 150, and then you can hit 180 to clean up the majority of Pokemon VMAX. It pretty much just, I think it gets everything. It comes short on Eternatus, but obviously you hit that for weakness. Yeah, and anything you do fall short on, you can do quick shooting, which essentially adds 40 because the 20 directly and the 20 more with the Swarm the Wound attack. Everything else here is pretty standard. I play three research to Marnie, but then four in all of the Pokemon starts the quick ball, up ball, and incense. I feel like that's really strong, and I love the Inteleon engine being able to get anything from your deck. So playing not a full copy of research, not a full playset of research, and not like a high count of money either feels fine. As well as just that one Raihan, I found that it's not necessary because we have energy switch Moltres to power up our Gmax rapid flows when necessary. I also have one copy of Boss, which is really important for just taking out targets on the bench. And like we don't play Slight or Passimi in this list because honestly, whenever I played them, I've never used them. My bench is usually filled up with the draw engines. We also have the Moltres and the Crobat and stuff. And then I also found that Sight just isn't that useful. It's okay, but it doesn't always help the math out where we need it. And I love just being able to boss KO stuff, especially Dark Weak Pokemon like Mew VMAX or something. If they're choosing to send up some other Pokemon, we can just boss KO whatever their vulnerable targets are. And I have the one copy of Cheryl, something I feel like is really necessary in Urshifu. At least to me, it's a card I really love having. I find when I don't play with it, my opponents are always applying a ton of pressure. And I'm like, if I had Cheryl, I'd feel much better in this situation because I always find I have like a bunch of damage VMAXs on the bench without any energy. So I really love Cheryl in the deck. And then we have the one air balloon, the two rope, and the two towers for switch outs, which is really solid. And then energy, we just have the four rapid strike and the one fighting with the two energy search, as well as four copies of dark energy. I've noticed that decks have been straying more towards a higher count of energy search and lower counts of dark energy. It just gives you greater access to the fighting and kind of condenses your deck a little more, which I found is actually really good. But let's get into some games here and hopefully test the deck out. I've been doing really well. You see, I'm on a 7 game win streak, which is really good. Hopefully, we can keep that up. I'm going to show off the deck. It looks like we might be in a mirror match here. The Fighting Water deck box is probably Urshifu. We do lose the coin flip, and one thing to note about the deck, as with pretty much any deck in the format, is it really wants to go first, but that's fine. If we go second, things are usually okay. This hand here isn't great, but we can probably work with it. We have the Crobat to draw some cards, and we have a bit of an engine going. Unfortunately, in the mirror match, playing down the Crobat's really bad, And we see they have the Pissimian right there as well, so they can actually snipe Crobat for 2 prizes with the Gmash Rapid Flow. And this is the Melanie build that they're playing, but they do miss the turn on Urshifu, which is obviously really good for us. So we can just level ball, get down a couple of Sobbles, which is really good to get our engine going. And playing the Tower Waters is completely fine here as well. Obviously helps him out a little bit. But actually Tower Waters, which is going to be really interesting in this situation, means that they can't retreat off the water energy, so they cannot Melanie that energy off without like a scoop up net to discard it, which is kind of funny. But we'll obviously Crobat here, looking for an energy. This hand's pretty. It's not great. I think we could play the Sobble, but we don't play any caps of scoop up net in this list, so I'll hold off on the Sobble. I don't think it's necessary at the moment. And we'll just pass the turnover. Both of us getting weaker starts, but I honestly like my start much more than I like theirs because they have no Urshifu, and we just keep calling straight out of the gate from them, which will probably be fine for them, but we see the Remoraid and Sobble. So we see an Energy Search, which is really nice. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to route this. I think we research here, but let's take a look into our prizes. We are going to go down 2 energy switch, it looks like. We do have the Raihan for back-to-back GMAX Rapid Flows, though. Unfortunately, this means we cannot just discard Darkness Energy and energy switch it on. So we could possibly Marnie, but that seems pretty bad because they're not in like a great state either. So quite possibly just grabbing ourselves. I definitely want a supporter, so let's just research here. Probably discarded Darkness Energy as well to get Moltres going. Is it just a solid attacker in the matchup? Just in general. And I don't mind getting rid of this Sobble either. So just research and hope we hit something good. But as I said, our hand's our hand wasn't too good, so getting new cards is really nice. This hand's actually really solid. So I'll start out with an escape rope, and we're just gonna swing in for 150 with this Urshifu. They'll probably send up an Urshifu. They might send up a Simian, which would be cool, but they'll probably send up an Urshifu, I imagine. Maybe even Remoraid if they decide that they don't need the Octillery. I was considering putting Octillery in this deck, but I decided it's not really necessary. And yeah, you see they're a little unhappy about that. Because all their targets are like so strong. Like we really want to get rid of all of them. So we can just obviously get the KO with a free retreat, set up this Moltres as well, and could even go for another Drizzile, but I don't think that's necessary, especially because we are down one of our Inteleons already. And I don't really want to play the Sobble because I feel like Basculin might be important, and losing that option seems pretty bad. So here I'll just swing in, take the KO, which is really nice, getting the first KO. And that means we'll probably be taking out, I'm not exactly sure a prize route here, but it might be taking out 2 more single prizes like a Drizzile and an Octillery, and then taking out the Urshifu or something like that. We just see them swing in probably for that 150, and yeah, they have not much going on in their hand, which is obviously really good for us. We see they have a Rapid Strike, so they will swing in for 150. Actually, their hand's fine. They have the Octillery. I imagine we'll just take out the Octillery and the Sobble, or if that evolves into a Drizzile, we'll take that out. We see Rapid Strike Search. Maybe, I don't remember, I'm assuming this is toward Reklev's list. So see them go for another Urshifu, which is fine, I guess. We don't really mind that. We need to be wary of the Basculin from themselves, but that's probably fine. And this hand's really solid, so we can just level ball, grab a Drizzile here. I do think we will play the Sobble. The rest of the cards aren't anything particularly great, but we could get another Darkness Energy in the discard pile, and that seems really solid. So I'll go with that play. And eliminating their engine is just so strong, assuming we can do that. So I'll play this and just Drizzile for that energy search. I could even grab an Evo Incense, which I think I'll do for the quick shooting Inteleon to get some more damage on the board, maybe on this Urshifu or something. And I don't think we really need the other energy in this card. We already have, well, we have 0, but we will have 1 after the research. So we're just going to be looking for a rapid stroke energy, and we see a couple on this side of the research, which is really nice. And then we can just apply a ton of pressure to their bench and go down to half our prizes, which is obviously really good. I'm probably quick shooting this active Urshifu. I imagine that'll be left inactive on their turn, so that's pretty cool. And we can obviously just Gmax Rapid Flow. Debatably the most powerful attack in the whole game. So, and we see the insane power. Now they're gonna probably KO my Drizzile and my Sobble. They could even KO my Crobat and my Sobble or something, but they haven't taken any prizes yet, so I imagine it's fine. And we rip a Drizzile off the prizes, which is also really good. So we're not like stranded, because even in this massive hand, we didn't have like great options. But we see they're just gonna go in with another Yell Thrust, which we're completely fine with. Meaning we will probably just go in with, I imagine another Yell Thrust. Or actually, I think we can go in with the Dire Flame Wings here. That attack is really solid. You can ping this benched Urshifu, because we will be using Basculin here. Or we could use Basculin here, which is completely fine. They will be taking a bunch of prizes on their turn, but that's fine. Hopefully we don't get Marnie. That would obviously be unfortunate. We are down 2 rapid strike energies if we get Marnie, but that's fine. And they'll probably just, okay, we see a Melanie, so they're gonna rapid flow here, which we're fine with. They actually have double rapid flow set up. You see the power of Melanie in their deck, but obviously it adds a lot of inconsistency, which is why I don't really love the build of it. They're grabbing a Saddle, but I don't think that's going to be too useful. So yeah, we just see them swing in. Unfortunately, the Saddle will mean that the escape rope won't entirely, won't guarantee us the game. But they do KO our Urshifu and grab 4 prizes there. But we should be in a very good spot. We are looking for, if our boss's orders is in deck, that will win us the game. So let's hope that's there. I'm trying to think if there's another route, but boss is there, and so is Basculin. So we can just Basculin for game here, and we just see the concede. The Basculin is so powerful, we could have boss KO'd that Urshifu. I suppose we didn't even need the Basculin, though. We could just swing in with Moltres again. We have all these really powerful attackers in the deck, and so continue the win streak, get some really strong games in. It's just one of the best decks in format, if not the best deck in format. We swing against a Water Psychic deck, which is probably going to be a bit more scary. I imagine it's going to be something like uh, Dragapult VMAX with the Inteleon engine, but this is definitely a winnable matchup because of the Galarian Moltres. But one other thing to keep in mind, unfortunately, we have a really weak start this game, but we do have the Moltres. And we also can swing in with the Blaziken, but we see we are against what is presumably Sylveon. Yep, Sylveon, the Water's Predator Octillery, and they have a ton of other pieces to their deck. So this is just going to be a much stronger matchup. But keep in mind, we obviously cannot use the Galarian Moltres to hit for weakness, because they have that metal type weakness. We see him going straight for the Remoraid though, and then a Crobat to follow it up. So they're just setting him up like super well. If only we had a Marnie to disrupt this, because they're gonna end their turn with a really powerful Dream Gift. And it looks like they're also playing the Galarian Moltres in their deck. And then they have the Urshifu, all these really powerful pieces. So we'll see how they're gonna like go. They're obviously a more like aggressive deck. They can high roll to just completely obliterate us. They can also get unlucky, but seems like they're getting a very strong start this game. We may just need to boss's order to stall something, probably that Crobat, because everything else is free retreat. So yeah, we're hoping we're not going to get donked this game. The boss stall play, they could like energy switch or something. And that would be very bad. They probably play that. I suppose they could also, oh yeah, it probably has to be an energy switch or just a direct switch out. They only need to do 80, so I believe they will just probably swing in with that Blaziken, or they could also, yeah, the Blaziken's their best bet, or they could even swing in with like an Urshifu VMAX. Either of those will obviously get them the KO. So they're figuring out their options. They might be considering Armani here, which obviously we'd love, unless they got the Dong. Um, so hopefully we do get Armani though. It'll make the game more interesting. We've seen uh, Rapid Strike Energy on the Urshifu, and then grabbing themselves an Artillery, possibly for a supporter, or maybe for that Urshifu VMAX. Yeah. Okay, so unfortunately they do have the game here with the Urshifu energy switch, but they're going to go move on to the next game here. Obviously, we saw that the deck can be a little inconsistent. Generally, though, we'll start with more supporters or at least more Pokemon search. Things such as the quick balls or level balls, which unfortunately weren't able to start with that game. I was able to up it to the 4 Vs. Sometimes some of my builds only have 3, which is pretty sketchy because obviously you can miss them, you have to discard them, they're prized, stuff like that. But I feel like the 4th Urshifu is really solid. I could see going to 3, but it's really up to you. Let's just see another hand that's not great, obviously. No basics in this one. So hopefully we go into another one. Honestly, this hand was solid, though. We had access to a Drizzile, and that was nice. But we see our actual opening hand here, which is really solid. We have a Sobble start. We have access to like another Sobble and an Urshifu, and we have an energy as well. So we'll see our opponents, what they're playing, and we are against Sableye, probably Sableye Weezing, although it could definitely be something such as Sableye um, Noivern, but yes, it is the Sableye Weezing deck, which would be an okay matchup. And we'll probably see them grab like a Sobble here. Okay, they grab a Crobat, which is actually really good for us, obviously, because that's a great target. Let's see Galar Mine. Hit the board, which is fine. We will obviously need to get a stadium to bump that, but we could also manually retreat. I do see them go into Coughing, which is actually really solid for us. Let's get rid of this Evo Incense, because we obviously won't need that. We're just going to research this hand away. We do have Urshifu turn 1. So we'll be looking for one of those stadiums, and if we find one, we can actually get the KO here, which is really insane. And otherwise, just be in a little bit of a slower spot, but it should all probably work out. And we can see, grab just another Sobble. We prized 1 Sobble, and we, I think, prized 1 Drizzile as well. I also prized an Urshifu, um, and a few other cards, I think. Looks like we got the boss and the prizes. Probably something else I'm forgetting, like yeah, Basculin, but that's fine. Nothing horrible here, and we can just go for the research, looking for the stadium, or just anything to get us going. And we do find the stadium, which is really insane, allowing us to retreat. And I feel like going for a Moltres here is really solid as well. We obviously will be, probably will be under ability lock next turn, but that's okay, because we can just keep our solid board state. Still want to Dire Flame Wings here. And then we KO the Coughing due to its weakness to Urshifu, our 2 fighting type, which is just really good. We could even have gone for the 150, 100 Furious Blows play, but I feel like this play is certainly good enough. And I don't think we want to switch it with anything. We could send up the Sobble, but I honestly really like having this Urshifu in the active, so we can just G-Max Rapid Flow next turn, or 100 Furious Blows if that's what we need to do. So we find out boss's orders, which is really solid. We can maybe KO the Crobat or something. We see a fan of waves, unfortunately, but that's fine. And crushing hammers, well, I could care less whether they flip heads to that. But you see there, this is a really control-focused build, which is really intriguing. Honestly, I think this is by far the weaker build. I think the Italian build of Sableye Wheezing is really good, if you've seen that, but just see that they come up a little short there. And we can take out the coughing again if we want, which seems very solid. So I definitely want this energy search. Assuming our fighting energy is in the deck, which it is, which is really nice. So just going to grab that and obviously grab the energy. And just boss is ordering that coughing. You could evolve into the VMAX. It doesn't really matter either way, but just boss orders right here is very solid. You could even quick ball away something, but that doesn't feel super good. So strafe KO again. Don't want to get out of active because that Galamine is looking a bit scary. If we don't play around that properly, we could like deck out or something. Probably not, but it's certainly something that could happen. Something we don't want to happen. We did hit the Drizzle though, allowing us to probably get a research if we want. We've seen another Tool Jammer. Man, this is a really disruptive build of their deck. Looks like they're probably, they could Crazy Claws, I suppose, for 10. You might see a Goon, so they can Crazy Claws for a bit more. See another Crushing Hammer. It's all fine, so yeah, we just need a load switch. Probably for a supporter. No, they got another Crushing Hammer, which we're okay with, I guess. So let's obviously get this Urshifu. And I imagine we could. I really do like the possibility of getting ourselves an escape rope to carry the Crobat, but applying pressure to the active seems fine as well. So let's obviously Drizzle here first. I think I'm going to go for the escape rope route, though. That seems pretty solid. And we still have another one of those as well, which is really cool. And we'll definitely send off this Drizzle. This guy can't retreat yet, so let's evolve and grab ourselves that Tower of Waters and grab ourselves a Professor's Research as well. The hand's pretty stuck, so we don't want to Marnium. And probably get rid of this Inteleon. Grab ourselves another Sobble here, which is really, really nice. And drop the Tower, which actually doesn't give the Inteleon free retreat in itself. It obviously gives it free retreat in combination with the Air Balloon, just removing the Stadium. And we find a really solid hand here. So I imagine let's just VMAX Rapid Flow, and put some damage on all their Pokemon, and just put ourselves in a really solid position, and have game very soon. They have 50 damage on them, so we could definitely win next turn if we just hit an energy and the Chilling Rain Inteleon. I don't believe any of those are prized. See a Crushing Hammer, really fine with that. If they hit heads, we just recover the energy immediately, and we see the Concede by them. So we just see the power of Urshifu against all these different unique decks. We obviously lost that one game because of inconsistency, though, so that's one thing you really need to consider when building a deck. I obviously went more towards some unique techs with the Cheryl, the Basculin, and I lower counts stuff like Raihan Research, but I really like the deck, and I feel like my list is very solid. If you have any considerations and changes that you'd make to it, though, I'd really appreciate it if you left them down in the comments. I'm also really excited to continue editing this deck and improving it. I'm not sure about the Crobat, but I really do enjoy all the cards in this list and find that they have really great utility. And if you enjoyed the video, I really appreciate it if you give it a like. And if you really enjoyed it and want to see more, I'd appreciate if you subscribe. All those things really help out the channel so it can grow. And I'm excited to see you in the next video.